time. Welcome to a very special edition of the Shot and Shield Supercast, a Shot and Shield short dedicated to colonial and 19th century war gaming and history, a podcast meant to be listened to while you're gaming, painting, or working on your amazing projects. I am Scott, the Marquis of Middle Florida. I am joined by Dominick Trascitti, the four-star general for the conventions known as Recon and Hurricon in Orlando, Florida. Dominick is joining your humble servant for this Shot and Shield short to talk about Hurricon 2025, which is just around the corner, September 25th through September 28th at the Holiday Inn by the Parks in Kissimmee, Florida. Dominick, thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for jumping into the Lion's Den to talk about Hurricon. Just really quickly, Hurricon's at a different venue this year.
No, actually, it's the same venue, the same physical venue. They just pulled the name off the front and put Holiday Inn up there.
So they sold
still
this
on 3011 Main Gate Lane. It's still right there by the Walmart and behind the IHOP. I think the IHOP is one of our alternate conference rooms for the show. And at 7:30 o'clock, you can find most of the con is there eating their eggs and drinking coffee.
You know what?
But
I would always be suspect about that because if you're going to have an IHOP right there and you have endless pancakes, some people might not get to the game.
I think they might lose some money on us. But it's right behind the Giant Mermaid there on 192. If you look at the Giant Mermaid there with her arms open wide, come up and game. Well, that's where the show is. Hurricon 2025. We're booked at that hotel for a long time. I believe in booking out way ahead and providing a very stable location for gaming, a clean place. I think the hotel has done an excellent job with the remodelings that they've done over the time. Of course, it's got its own Starbucks inside the hotel, and we are good to go as far as the show goes.
Now
Hurricon is ready for business here.
at least through I think you and I were talking before we started hitting record here. You were talking that at least through 2030.
Oh yeah, 2030 is where I've got it booked out to. I haven't discussed with them about the next phase. I'm going to have a chat with the board about that. But we don't want to. We want to be as predictable as possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe that's a little boring. Everybody can predict where we're going to be, but that's
No,
how
I think
we like it.
I think we're all a creature. We're all a creature of habit. So, knowing that as the name has changed, that's good because that way we,
Yeah, only
for
the name has changed.
yeah. So for those of us who are going, that you don't have to change your map. You don't have to look around it because Orlando, Kissimmee being a suburb of Orlando proper, that can be really confusing for somebody who's not in the area.
Right. You know what they say in Orlando is an hour away from Orlando. So if you want
It
to go
is a
across
spread
Orlando,
out
it's
city.
about an hour.
It's a spread out city for sure.
Yeah.
I'd like you to talk a little bit about the theme for this
Sure.
for Hurricon. No plant survives contact with the enemy. And can I
That's
tell
right.
you really quick? It's like it almost has a Mike Tyson thing to it. Everything's good until you get punched in the face.
Punched in the face, yes.
I
So
think
yeah,
Bismarck said
I think
the same thing.
it's I think that's Clausewitz had meant the same exact thing. All that anything that you have as far as a plan is going to go out the window as soon as things start happening, and that's part of the chaos of war. Now it's been a joke many times in the wargaming community. No plan survives contact with the enemy. Ever since Kriegspiel came out in the early 20th century, where people started with wargaming, and I thought it would be a fun theme for this year. I asked the board for a couple of oddball themes, and I had a different one, and somebody said, "Why don't we use this? Because it's almost to what you said." And I don't think I used a punched in the face one, but I had something like that. And he goes, "Yeah, no, no, no. I think as best laid plans of mice and men is what I thought maybe the theme would be, and we
Uh-huh.
could have little mice." And then he said, "No, no, no planners." So we've gone to the enemy. I go, "Hey, that works. Let's do it." So we've
Do,
got another one. Our theme in the spring is going to be a basic one, Africa. Somebody asked for one of the board members had asked, let's do Africa because we haven't done that in a while. So we're going to hit on that for a theme. We try to make it interesting every time. So the board members that serve with me are really those are the guys that I depend on to talk about things, to make sure that the books are right, make sure that our finances are right, all our taxes are paid, and all the
Hmm.
insurance is taken care of, and everything else is done. I got one of the board members does all the membership stuff and to make sure the membership is running. Another one does all the operations things at the hotel. At the hotel, when we start the show, uh, David's in charge. I'm just kind of helping him to execute what we have in the on the books. And Patrick, of course, does all the tournament and stuff, and Gail talks to all the vendors. So we're all a team that do things together with that. And I want to make sure I called out everybody on the of course Edgar. I didn't mention Edgar's name. Uh, we all do things. We all have our own interests in gaming that we do in our basic towns, but we all come together for this for the state of Florida.
That's
Our
Edgar Pabon.
Edward Pabon, who is
Yeah,
from
I love just saying
Jacksonville.
his last name. You know that? I just love it.
He's a really nice guy,
Oh, he's an
and
amazing guy.
he does a lot with the Jacksonville show. Hopefully I can get up there in the spring to attend his show. I can only attend so many shows, and I go all over the place too
Sure.
for shows and promoting things.
Now,
Um,
as far as the games go, so the theme being "No plan survives contact with the enemy." You ever have some of the hosts of the games kind of really jump in and grab the theme
mhm.
as part of
Oh
their?
yes, some of
Uh,
them really love to riff off the theme. Some it doesn't really mean much to them, and they just go on and do whatever they want to do, and that's
right.
fine too. I mean, it's something that's kind of fun. We always produce a die that goes with the show.
Hmm.
Gail designs and makes sure the dies are printed, and we show up with the dice at the show, and everyone gets a die. Um, Usually, we have something to say about it in our program guide that we publish um, for the show with all the events going on. And some of them, sometimes people take off on it, sometimes people don't. Um, we do have a couple of games that are pulling on that, and the different garrisons bring in events that they want to do. But you know, it's kind of a suggestion more than it is a command, and
Right.
it's supposed to be fun. And
Right.
if you don't think it's fun to think about that, then that's okay. Well, come out and play anyway. We're anybody that wants to roll a die is always welcome to come out to Hurricon and roll some dice or Recon in the spring.
I think the last convention that the last show that I attended, I hosted a game. The theme was infantry,
Hmm.
and I remember thinking to myself, okay, so the theme's infantry, so I need to make sure that I'm getting rid of anything cavalry on this. I'm just going infantry total. Um, Dominick Trascitti is joining me on a special Shot and Shield short. We're talking about Hurricon 2025 coming up September 25th through the 28th at the Holiday Inn by the Parks in Kissimmee. Dominick, what are some of the marquee games that are scheduled? You got anything that's like linchpin games that just stand out?
There are going to be some tournaments. We always have a big DBA presence at the show, and the tournaments the tournaments that go on there are always really great for DBA. We have bolt action happening there. We have a full all day bolt action show, our bolt action event.
Hmm.
That is two big tournaments there. I have a on the role playing game side. One of our people that manage role playing game for Paizo, Alex, is coming down to Florida to see us. And we're also doing a special event which is called an interactive. That is like some of the people that play role playing games online will know about a raid where you have multiple groups that all get together and attack a very large target or overcome a very large uh, basically form an army out of all the RPG players in the
Right.
room, and you go at a target. So that is going to go on, and that's not something that we do anywhere but in at uh, large conventions, and that's one thing I really like.
Hmm. Now the
I know
bolt
Pete
action, if I
Panzerai
could.
is doing a couple of big events. I know he's doing a Africa Corps event.
Oh, very good.
I know he's got a couple other large events. There are some GI Joe, which I'm very happy to see. I love. I'm a big Joe. Yo Joe. I'm a big
Yeah.
GI Joe fan,
Are you
and
the original or the 80s?
it's kind of a takeoff. It's a TV. It's a TV version of the GI Joe. It's a rule set that catches onto that.
Sure.
Kind of
Oh,
riffs
that
on
should be
that.
a lot
I
of
think
fun,
that's going to be a lot of fun. You
especially for us 80s kids.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm a big heck. I'm a '60s kid, and I had all the GI Joe stuff that
Yeah.
I could get.
I'm a 60s kid too, so
All
I'm
the
with you.
space, all the space stuff that I could get my hands on. My mother would buy for me, and I really enjoyed it. I know that we have a sea creek as we always do
Hmm.
at the show. I know that I have. I know there's a War of Spanish Succession event coming up too. That is going to be toward the front of the room. I don't know much about it. It is going to be. It should be a pretty good event. But I know that some of y'all have an interest in 18th century.
Oh yeah.
That's an early 18th century
Hmm.
event.
Yeah, it's
But
always I always love
everything is going to be available, even if you didn't buy a ticket. You can come on to the uh, the website over hmgs-south.com, and you'll be able to see if you navigate over to the Hurricon 2025 event. For some reason, the Recon one is sticking in front, so I have to figure that out.
mm.
But if you go to that event right there, it will show you all the events that we have going on.
I know that you could also you could also go to your browser, just type in Hurricon 2025. It pulls up
It'll
the
pull it up.
listing right up the top there. I was going to ask. You have a whole room, and you've had in the past a whole room dedicated to WW2 game Bolt Action.
Yeah, it's all dedicated to bolt action. That is going to be in the Oleander room. It's right off the main room,
Hmm.
but that's all the bolt action tournament.
Can you?
That's always going to be in there. And we also have Flames of War in the hallway across from the bolt action. So depending if you like 28 or if you like 15 millimeter, we've got you covered.
So
Full
this
size or
question,
half size.
I hear you. I just wondered about the tournament itself. Now, when the tournament happens, I noticed that each of each of the tables that are set up, there was usually like 8 or 12 tables. It's quite large, but each of those tables are maybe like almost like a 4x4.
Yes,
The
that's the standard map. So it's
the
two half. So I put them on two half tables so they can use the whole table
right.
and just have apron on it and the
Hmm.
sides, or they can put two on there. It's up to
Now the
them.
tournament itself, is this the each game, is that a game dedicated to a larger battle like Baston or Arnhem or
Uh,
something like that, or is it
it
just
is.
different
It
little
is.
theaters?
It's different little theaters, and uh, it is a tournament. So you don't always have your choice of who you're going to fight and who you're going to play against.
Hmm.
So you might have Americans against Japanese, or you might have a Japanese force against a German force, and that's not happening. But it's kind of part of the nature of the tournament. I don't quite know how he does his pairings,
Hmm.
but I know in other games when I've done this pairings before, I just didn't pay attention to who played what side. Now I've done some command and color tournaments at a couple of the cons around just for it's to get people's nose wet with the game because they've never played a war game. So this
Right.
is kind of their introduction to wargaming. And what I'll usually do is I'll assign people sides, and that way they don't have to bring an army. And then I'll have them switch and then play the same scenario again with the other side, which is typical for a lot of those CNC. Memoir 44 being an example of
Hmm.
that, or any of the Command and Colors games like the American Revolution one, which I really like uh, doing that with.
Now it would be inappropriate for me not to ask this question just
Uh oh,
because the whole my shot and shield is dedicated to the 19th century.
sure.
So So between Napoleon and World War One, what kind of games we got hanging around?
I know that there is Blood and Steel games, and I
Right.
know that we have the Sword and the Flame games going on in the
Oh,
back corner.
excellent.
And the Sword and the Flame always makes a big showing there. Jeff and the True there, they have some really wonderful tables.
Hmm.
They look great. Those are going to be on table G5. It's in the corner of the room, in the back corner on the
Hmm.
left. They like the back corner there, and I'm happy to give it to them. So
They had a
basically, I block
game.
that off, and I block that corner off for them, and they fill it up the whole weekend, and I'm happy for it. To the point of I got other people saying, "Hey, put me near the Sword and the Flame table," because they wanna kind of be near the sun.
Yeah. Well,
And
I remember they had a game up there, an African game. I
mhm.
think the last convention I was at, and it was just amazing. I think I got all kinds of pictures of it just
Mhm.
because they did such a beautiful job.
I think that was the Mahdi. I think that was the Mahdi Wars
Hmm.
game, and that's a big interest to me. Pre 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 we're on the Chinese Gordon and all those kind
Right, right,
of
right.
things. So it's they always have a good table there. The table always looks very good.
Hmm.
It's often Colonial Wars, which is the Sword and the Flames rule
Yeah.
set. Um, Now there is a another one that I've got down here called Raid on Relic River, and there's a couple of others, and they seem to be they're going to be an all-day game, but they're going to be more 18th century as well,
Yeah.
and 19th century.
Hey,
So it should be pretty
if it's
good.
horse and musket, sword, we're good.
I
So,
believe I believe it's going to be that, or it's going to be early rifling.
hmm.
But yeah, it should be pretty good. I've always got ancients. I've always got plenty of ancient stuff there. I've got painting. I don't know if you mentioned this to your group. We have painting that always goes on, and this year, Donnie, who runs the paint area,
Hmm.
is going to do not a quality painting contest. It's a speed painting contest
Oh,
where you're going to be painting the miniatures, and you have a certain grade you got to paint them to, and you got to paint as many as possible. So there'll be little stands of a group of infantry,
right.
and you're going to be painting one after the other. And if you paint 10, you may be in the running for the first prize. But
I
the whole idea is to put all these armies together, put it together in army, and then we're going to auction it off to charity.
Oh, that's
Just
excellent.
something we always do at this show.
Hmm. I would totally fail that. It took me 4 years to get a couple boxes of Russians painted. So
I got such a big shame pile. It's not funny.
well, is it? I'm just a slow painter.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
same here.
I mess up and I got to do it over again. I think I've repainted half my stuff maybe 5 or 6 times.
I have pieces of terrain that people have 3D printed for me, or I've 3D printed that I still haven't painted. I just put them on the table. And,
One of the other things too that's really nice about the convention is the marketplace. I
yes.
think that there's one gentleman who it's the terrain Toys R Us.
Hmm.
You go in there, it just I think my game that I had there last, I was right behind his kiosk and his tables, and it was like Candyland for
Yes.
for anybody who's looking for any sort of terrain.
There's all kinds of terrain. We have mat. Uh, we have battle mats, cigar mats.
Hmm.
Most everybody will bring something from. There are about two vendors that bring a lot of bolt action, so you get the full range of bolt action
Yeah.
entities. Core Wars, I know, is one of our vendors. Always brings it, and he always runs a couple games of it just to show people that it's
Mm.
kind of a science fiction, uh, kind of a cutesy, dark, humorous.
Right.
It's not grim dark. It's more like ha ha dark battle game that I kind of like it. It's kind of fun. Um, there is going to be vendors that will. There's of course Rudy will always be there. Rudy has a plethora of almost anything. If it's ever been printed or ever been made, Rudy's probably sold it. He might have it at his table. He has just boxes and boxes of things to find. Um,
Yeah, I think
I'd like to
Rudy
mention.
My wife told me never to go to Rudy's table ever
Oh
again
man,
because of that.
Rudy's is something else. I do have some sad news that Stan Johansson, who's also is in the front, and he often paints
Hmm.
minis, and he has his minis for paint. He had passed away,
Oh,
unfortunately,
that's too bad.
and yeah, it's a big loss for the gaming community.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're gonna really miss him. I've got tons of his minis that I've bought singles, or I bought pieces from him, and uh, we're gonna definitely miss him. So we're not even touching his table this show. We're gonna leave his table there. I'll have a signing book on there and his picture,
Oh, very
and
good.
whatever we can do, uh, for him and his wife and his estate and whatever, I think that everybody signing a book and giving, sharing their memories of how great it was to have Stan at our show would be a good thing to do. So
Yeah, amen to
that'll be
that.
available. So, but we're not getting younger, and this is what
No,
happens.
no, not at all. Dominic, thank you for joining me today on Shot and Shield.
Oh,
I
thanks for
hope,
having me.
yeah, absolutely. Hurricon 2025, which is coming up very, very quickly. You don't want to miss the event September 25th through September 28th at the Holiday Inn by the Parks in Kissimmee, Florida. There's still time to sign up at tabletop events, or better yet, just like I said earlier, you type in Hurricon 2025 into your browser, it pops it right up, not even having to do anything in your little bar up the top. Just type that in,
You can
and you're
find it
good to
off
go.
of Facebook too, or you
Uh,
can go to HMGS-South at groups.io has a mailing list, and you can always find us on Discord too. We're on
and
Discord.
you could also, I mean, you can just show up.
You can show up and buy a ticket at the door. I
Hmm.
did turn on the at the door tickets now. So if you want to buy a day pass, you're welcome to buy a day pass now. We'd like to have you the whole weekend, but if all you can do is make Saturday, then it saves you a little bit of money.
Absolutely. All right. So Hurricon 2025 coming up 25th to 28th of September. Look, this has been a Shot and Shield short. I'm Duke Scott, and I'm out.